Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Gem TCG, and today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to start a Pokemon card or any other card reselling business from scratch with a budget of $500. And I'm not going to go in depth on a lot of things, but I'm going to show you guys the exact steps you should take to get started so that it doesn't feel too overwhelming and so that you don't get lost or start building some bad habits in the process, because when you're first starting off, it's very easy to start heading in the wrong direction. So hopefully this video will kind of prevent that and lead you on the right path. So I'm going to be showing you guys where to get your inventory from, what supplies you will absolutely need, and then also some recommended things if you have the extra budget, and then what marketplaces to be selling on and how to get the account set up for that. So it's going to be a full beginner-friendly video, so stick around, watch the whole thing so that you can understand it completely and don't get mixed up on anything. So let's get started. First thing I would recommend is create a Facebook account and start joining groups. So once you join, or once you sign up for Facebook, and not everyone likes social media, I understand that, but unfortunately the only way to be successful in this industry is to have social media, because sourcing inventory is one of the most important things, and in order to source inventory you need to have these social media platforms to do so, because you can't source on eBay or TCG Player, because it's not scalable and it's very hard to get a bunch of inventory in. So Facebook, Instagram, I think Instagram works, I don't know, but Facebook for sure. And then once you join, there's this group section, and you can just go on here and search whatever card game you're interested in, and also like the state that you're in too, because finding local deals is very important. So if you're joining like Pokemon Michigan Resell, it's very helpful and will save you a ton of time, and you'll also be able to get some local transactions. You don't have to worry about people shipping it, and you can meet them in person, build some long-term relationships like that. So let's just test one out. Type in Pokemon buy, sell, trade, and then what you'll do here is you'll just basically join as many groups as you can. Now the unfortunate thing is that a lot of these groups filter it so that you can't join them unless you've been active on Facebook for a month or two. So get the account set up right away, so that way you don't run into that issue when you're actually trying to join groups. And what you see is going to be different than mine, because I'm already in a lot of the big groups. So join whichever one has a lot of members and is active. So actually, not even a lot of members. Join one that's active, because this one has 80 posts per day with 36,000 members. But then this one has 7,000 less members, but it has more than 10 posts per day. So you want to join ones that are active, and don't join one that's 50,000 members but like 10 posts a day, or you join it and then nobody's actually buying and selling stuff. It's just like a bunch of old members that haven't left it, and that number gets really inflated. And one thing, or one group that I want to just talk about, is the one I created. And I created it a month or two ago, and it's already at 920 members, which is, honestly, it's pretty crazy. I did not expect it to grow that fast. And it seems to be pretty active, a lot of people posting and stuff, so join this one too if you're interested. And then the next thing you should be doing is, once you join these groups, so let's just say, I'll make the post in my group just to do it. Make a post saying whatever you want to just introduce yourself. Say like, hello everyone, I am looking to buy bulk, paying, and then put your rate. So $12 per thousand, common, uncommon, and then 0.03 per hollow. And adjust this however you want. Put the rates that you want, put the rarities that you're interested in, and just click post. I'm not going to post it right now because I don't need bulk at the moment. I'm actually very overloaded with bulk, but make a post like that. Or if you want, say you're buying collections. So do the same thing, looking to buy collections, paying 70 to 80% market, must have TCG player list or collector list. I like mentioning that so people don't just send pictures of their collections with no information on it. And then set your budget. So let's just, for this instance, say budget 200, English, non-graded only. So then you put your criteria, you put your budget, and then you just post it. Now, sometimes you're going to post that and there's going to be no attention to it. But you just have to keep posting, and then one day someone's going to comment on it and say, oh, I have a collection for sale. They'll DM you. You go through the process, and then you work out the deal. And now I'm going to show you, I'm going to start writing down the numbers so it actually makes sense. So let's say you go the eBay route and then the TCG player route. What I would recommend is inventory. You're going to want to spend, I just realized that my screen was not showing fully at the time, but hopefully it still makes sense. I'm going to keep going on with the video, but now I'm just writing down the numbers for everything. And starting off, let's say you're buying cards for your eBay store. What I would set aside is probably $200 for a budget, or for inventory for singles if you can. And then for TCG player, you can easily find bulk that's around $100. Now these numbers are going to fluctuate. It's not going to be like exactly $100, but it's pretty easy to find stuff in that price range. So now we're already at $300 total, and that's pretty much the main percentage of what our expenses are going to be. And when I say TCG player inventory, I'm meaning bulk, not like singles or anything, because what I highly recommend for anyone starting off right now is to get some experience selling on TCG player, but then buy or focus mainly on eBay. I think eBay is the best platform to be selling on at the moment. TCG player still has its importance, especially with competitive cards that you will find in your bulk. But for the most part, I want you guys to be focusing on eBay if you can. So right there, we're at 300. Next up, we're going to need some supplies. Now, that's why I have Amazon pulled up. What you would want to do is just look at the important supplies you'll need. And you can also find these at the dollar store. For example, envelopes, bubble mailers, tape. Those things you can find anywhere. So I'm going to write those down later. But first, most important thing that I wouldn't recommend not starting without is a thermal label printer. The reason why this is so important is because, one, it saves you a ton of money on these labels and, or not labels, but the printer and the ink and all that. The printer, I'm pretty sure, is above $100 easily. But these, as you can see, they're like $60, $70. So find anyone here, and I'm not really sure which one to promote or which one to recommend. Only thing I would make sure to look for is this thing right here. High resolution. Oh my goodness, it's not showing the screen. I just realized again, it wasn't showing. But if you go on Amazon, you'll see a bunch of thermal label printers, and look for one that prints 4x6 labels and then has a DPI of 300. Because I've noticed that if you go anywhere below that, it's going to be pretty bad quality and might be hard to read. Especially because for some reason this person demonstrates it. Or maybe 203 is fine, but test it out, see which one works for you. The one I have is a Logia thermal printer. I've had it for quite a while and never had an issue. Looks like it's not even showing up anymore, but look for a thermal label printer. Get one that's budget friendly with the highest DPI. DPI is quality of the printing. That's what I take it as. So you will need this for, it kind of goes for both, but let's just say label printer. It looked like the average was $60. So right now we're at 360. Next up is the actual labels. So to do that, you can go to ups.com, and this is not, I don't know if this is allowed. I don't do this anymore. I think I used to when I was shipping with Amazon because it was through UPS, but you can go to UPS and then click on this UPS store thing. Or no, click on the products and solutions. And I believe on the small business solutions it might be here. And right here, it says get free shipping supplies. And what you can do here is order your labels. And I'm not going to show it because it'll show my screen or my login stuff. But basically you could do that and you will be able to order your labels for free. Now, if you want to try this for starting off, sure, but since they recommend that you only use it for UPS shipments, don't do this forever. And definitely once you get more money, you can start getting them for free or start paying for them. And they're pretty cheap. They're maybe a penny per label. So now you have the label printer, the inventory, and the labels. Next up is you will need to be, I will assume that you have a phone or something to take pictures of the cards with, because chances are if you're watching this video, you have a phone. So I'm just going to assume you have that. So you can take pictures of the cards with your phone, list them to eBay, and then on eBay, the way to sign up is just honestly just type in how to sign up for eBay seller account. And then it'll show this first page right here. It gives you the step-by-step directions. So just follow along with that. It's very straightforward. You don't need to do anything complex or whatever. So just create your account and then begin listing. Now, to start listing, there are tons of videos online. I also have a bunch of videos on my channel on how I list cards. But do that. That's how you sign up for the eBay account. Now, TCG Player, very similar. You just go on, they have that page right here, start selling on tcgplayer.com. And again, shows you the exact steps to do it. Very straightforward again. It'll take a few days to verify everything. So get it done sooner than later, so that way you're not stuck just waiting. Now that you have the account set up, you're going to want to start listing your cards. And again, I'm not going to show exactly how to do that right now, but start listing them. And again, we have $140 left to play with. So while you're listing your cards, they're not going to sell instantly, so that's why I didn't mention it yet. But you're going to want to buy penny sleeves, assuming you don't already have them, and envelopes, and then bubble mailers. So again, for this, go on Amazon or eBay if you want, and just type in envelopes. I like these ones. These are the ones I've been buying. They are I know there's things that people look at, but what I look at is just that it's 6 inches long, like this way, and then it says it's 3 5/8 tall. Now, the reason why I do that is because I don't know why, I just don't feel comfortable shipping them in the longer ones that are this long, because it feels like they get damaged more often because there's so much gaps in between where the card is versus where the just empty space is on the envelope. So get these. You can buy, how much is one unit? One unit is $17.63 for 500 envelopes. So if we just do the math, $17.63 divided by 500, 3 cents per unit. Now, is that the most budget-friendly one? I don't know. But, oh, actually I calculated for it, 4 cents. So this is what I've been using. And if you could find cheaper ones, go for it. I'm not recommending just buying what I say to buy, but I'm just trying to do a ballpark. And 500 envelopes will get you a long way. So 17.63. And now we have to get the bubble mailers. So I would recommend getting the 4x8 bubble mailer and try to buy these in bulk to whatever your budget allows for. Obviously, you can't spend $100 on 1,000 of them, but something like 200 of them for $20 or $29.99. That is, it's not the best, because if you're buying these for 1,000 at a time, you can get them for much cheaper prices, but you got to work with what you have. If you're just starting off, you don't want to be blowing money on supplies, because these are very helpful and they help a lot for the long term, but they take up a much bigger percentage of your expenses when you're just starting off. So like right here, 27.54 for 200 of them. And think about that. That's 200 orders that you could fulfill. And by the time you sell 200 orders of bubble mailers, you're going to have more than enough to buy more of them. Next up is penny sleeves. So just type in card sleeves and just look for the cheapest one with a big quantity. So right here we got 1,000 of them for $10. So very cheap. These are the ones, actually I use these. These are pretty good. They're tight fit, but they have a little bit more room to move around in. So I really like them. So right now we're at $315, $415. So we're at a total of $415. So we have $85 to play with. Now what you could do with this remaining money is, oh wait, actually no, there's one thing left. You need something rigid to ship the cards in. So people recommend top loaders, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of card savers instead. I think they're much better products and you could fit more cards in them. Whereas a top loader, you could just do one card at a time, but a card saver, you could do 4 to 6 cards without any damage happening. And overall, just easier to deal with. So these ones are pretty expensive. I'm not going to lie. Card savers are probably the most expensive part about shipping, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it is. But like, if you just scroll through and look for some good deals, like this one right here, you could buy that. I've had good luck buying them on eBay too. There's this one company that I saw, and it was, I forget the name, but it was a pretty good deal. But either way, right here you can buy 200 of them for $26. So is that the best cost per amount? Not really. But again, you're just starting off. You need to have supply, and you can't blow through it by spending so much on bulk supplies. And then the last thing you will need, which isn't going to be as often, but team bags. And I would recommend getting the BCW ones. Obviously try to find one that's relatively cheap. And I can't find a really good one on the spot, but of course, do your research and look for these. And also, I forgot to mention, but I have an Amazon storefront, and I'll link it in the description, but it has all these laid out for you, so you can just find the links right there. It's not going to have every single supply, but it'll give you an idea of what you need. So again, let's just assume we're going with this 500 count, because you're not going to use these as often as you think. You don't need to team back every single order. Actually, this one's cheaper. You don't need to team back every single order. So only do it when you're shipping in a bubble mailer. That's what I do, at least. So team bags for 14. So right now we're at $455. So that leaves you with $45 extra for inventory, shipping costs, all that stuff. And now one thing I forgot to mention is stamps. And you could buy these as you go. I wouldn't recommend buying a roll right away, because you don't want to. 100 stamps is $74, and you don't want to prepay that much money for something that it's going to cost you the same amount each time you buy it anyway. So try to figure something out for that. You could buy them in bulk if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend putting in that much money from the start on just stamps, which is again why I don't really recommend selling on TCG Player too much, especially if you're just starting off, because at least for eBay, when you make the sale, you can use the shipping label. You pay for the shipping label through the income from that order, so you're not fronting any extra money, which is very important when you're just starting off. You don't want to be selling something for $10, then you have to pay $4 out of pocket for shipping. You want it to all be connected and like a pay-as-you-go type of thing, where it just takes it out of your income rather than you putting in extra money. Then, this is completely optional, but I have to recommend it, and it's TCG Automate, which is the app I created. So if you don't want to spend the time learning how to list on eBay, or if you just want to speed up the process if you already know how it works, I would recommend getting the $10 subscription to TCG Automate. You will get 500 listings a month. And what this will do is it'll kind of show you what is the good stuff to do for an eBay listing, and how to properly format your titles, and how to have good images and have the correct pricing. Because when you're just starting off, it's very hard to look at a card and say, oh, what is this card? And then you have to go on TCG Player and find the market price, or try to do research on that. When instead, if you just go and make a batch of cards, it'll show you the market price. You could check your eBay comps, and it just saves you a ton of time. And then of course, you just download the CSV and then you upload it to eBay. And I have more videos on my channel for how that works, but if you're interested, that would be another $10 to your expense. Now, this is just how to get started, and you're at $465. So we're still within that $500 budget. And of course, as you can see, the majority, or a large chunk of those expenses, are on one-time fees, kind of. Like the label printer, you'll never have to buy again. Penny sleeves you'll probably get a bunch of them for free when you're buying collections. Envelopes you will have to buy again, but not as often, because if you think about it, you only need to use an envelope after you've sold something. Bubble mailers, same thing. Card savers, same thing, and you will also get those for free when you're buying collections sometimes. Team bags, same thing. And then the most important thing is that you just reinvest all of your sales. Don't keep any money to buy a card for your collection or go out to eat with that food or spend it on stuff that won't help the business grow. Keep reinvesting your money and keep buying more inventory to resell, and then find new ways to sell that inventory. And try to watch my videos or other sellers' video or like other YouTube videos on how to sell things online, how to grow your store from the start, and just like how to be a better seller. So that's it for this video. Let me know if there's anything you would recommend, or like comment that down below so that other people watching this video can get some more advice and just help each other out. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a great reselling journey and that everything goes well for you all.